Welcome once again to another episode of Mind Hijack. You're probably asking yourself, what is a psychiatrist doing in the gym? I can tell you the reasons. But first, I'd like to state to you that there is a correlation between physical fitness and mental health. I don't need to guide you in any direction. There's plenty of information of the benefits of going to the gym or doing physical fitness. I'm going to be very brief and to the point in regards to these benefits. The most immediate benefit from physical fitness in any kind of sport, it provides a load of endorphins in your body. Now, endorphins is a type of opioid that we have. Endorphins have been associated with a reduction of stress, improvement of mood, improvement of attention, and a reduction of appetite. Endorphins are not the only substances that are released during a physical exercise. There are other substances that you also can do research on the web. That is not why I'm here for. I am here to teach you how to unhijack your brain in doing exercise. If you remember in a previous episode, one of the requirements in making a change in your life, you have to visualize who you are and who you want to be. The biggest obstacle to physical fitness is your own self. The body has this inertia, its inability not to change. And the biggest obstacle to this has to do with your mind telling you it cannot be done. The biggest obstacle that you have to overcome is to overcome this denial that anything is not possible. We have been trained to believe that things can happen quickly. So many people resort to all kinds of gym sports or diets, expecting results really quick. That is not how it works. I will share with you some videos and some pictures of myself in my transformation of the past 6 years. I started at the age of 53. I was very obese. I'm being a doctor as I am, and I like to share this also with my colleagues. One of the biggest problems that we have as doctors is that we don't take care of ourselves. And here we are telling our patients to have a better life, to have better health, when we barely take care of ourselves. And our own excuse is basically saying there's no time, there's no place for this. That is how your mind gets hijacked. That is not true. What if I was to tell you that all it took 1 hour a day, 3 times a week to get in the shape that I'm in? It is not impossible to do this. This is why I tell my colleagues, if you believe you can do it for yourself, you can convince your patients. And it's not just your patients you need to convince your family, your children. We are the role models of our society. So how does physical fitness fit into mental health? The biggest obstacle in overcoming any challenge is believing that this could be done. And it's not only that, you have to select the right sports. Many of you have joined gyms that lift weights. I took an option that was rather different. One of the things I learned through a friend that mixed martial arts has a better benefit than most exercise. My trainer, who I'm grateful to and you will meet very soon, Crafton Wallace, has an incredible gym that provides services, individual. So the question is, can I afford these things? You have to make an investment in yourself, because you cannot do this by yourself. You just cannot go into a gymnasium and start doing exercise, because what happens, you will give up and you will not know what to do. In order to pick the right person in the right sports, you have to have a person who has knowledge of this, who knows how to handle your body, who knows how to push you to the limits. The beautiful thing about this particular training is that it causes what we call mixed muscle confusion. The muscle gets confused, it doesn't do the same exercise. This causes a shock and causes muscles to burn up fat. Another big problem that people have when they start gymnastics or any kind of sports, they're led to believe that they have to check their weights all the time. Weight is not a good measure of your outcome. The most important thing is your body size. In the first month or two, I can tell you personally, it was very painful for me to continue. And my mind wanted to be hijacked into believing that this is over. Now, I have to tell you, I've been injured minor, but there's ways around it. And that's another reason you have to select the right person. I've been fortunate because every time I had a minor injury, which either a sprained muscle or a pull joint, my trainer found another way around the situation to keep me motivated and keep me going. I'm going to show you some videos back from 2014. One of these first pictures I'm about to show you was way back in 2012. I reached what I call critical mass. And one of the things that inspired me to get help, I began to think, well, my children, will I ever get to see them? The way I was going, being a doctor, helping patients, I didn't think I was going to make it the next 10 years. So I began to visualize that this is something I have to change. So I first did it for my children, and then I did it for myself. The key to having success in this, like I mentioned, is you have to have a visualization. And if you saw my previous video, you have to not let people say this is not possible. Everything has an investment. Everything you have to commit. Nothing is free. Well, sometimes we join gyms at hundreds of dollars or maybe thousands of dollars a year, and you wish you didn't buy it. Some of us think that we can buy a machine at home, but we never use it. So my advice to you to overcome this obstacle of being hijacked and thinking that you cannot do it is you hire the right person. The right person will guide you through the right steps. And the other big important fact is diet. Now, I'm not talking about keto diets. I'm talking about a balanced diet. You have to be able to know how to eat. The fortunate thing about this training, Crafton had a great deal of experience in diet and supplements. And because of this, I was able to shape. Here are some pictures of me of 2014, 2016, and as I progressed, things became possible. As you can see, it took 6 years to stay in the shape that I am in. People have high expectations in short periods of time. That is not realistic. This is why people fail. All you need is 1 hour a day, 3 days a week with the right person to change your life. Incredibly, after I changed this physical appearance, your self-esteem becomes better. You become a role model. And now I'd like to introduce you to the man who made this happen for me, and I hope that my colleagues are watching this so they can see that everything is possible. Now you ask yourself, a doctor on a busy schedule, how can you do this? It's very simple. You got to make the commitment. You make the sacrifice. And you go to a place like this, and it will happen. So, let me introduce you to Crafton, and I'd like to ask him some questions which will include his philosophy of training and some advice he can give to those people. I think that doctors and my colleagues should take this up. Take time to exercise so you can make an impact on your patients. Well, I'd like to introduce you to Crafton Wallace. He's a MMA fighter and champion, as you can see on the wall that you're about to show you some of the medals and award. And he believes this not only to himself but his children. Both of his children are champion fighters. He is truly a role model in the Naples community. So I'd like to ask him some questions regarding how to become successful in shaping your body and self. So the first question, why do you think that this particular sport that you have is better than others in terms of physical fitness and outcome?
Main reason is probably like the diversity, the amount of different routines and activities you do to kind of prepare yourself for mixed martial arts competition. It covers all the bases. So any other sport you see them cross training in mixed martial arts to be better at their sport. That's why.
I noticed that when you trained me, and you trained me over the years, you knew timing for me. I guess, what in particular do you worry about when somebody starts in training, that you don't want them to surrender or give up? What do you do?
You know, you gotta, like you say, baby steps. It's baby steps. In the beginning, you kind of see where they're at, and you know, usually it's not a very high level of fitness, and you set a preliminary goal and then another one, and you just, you know, gradually move them up, make things a little more difficult in all different ways consistently until, you know, they're either happy with what they got and they feel like they want to train less with you, or they like the way you're doing things and you just keep challenging them.
Now, one of the things I admire about Crafton, he practices what he preaches. He not only trains family, children, and women, as you will see from some videos, but he has a multi-diverse training method which applies to a lot. He also has the privilege of training my son, and he has made some improvement. Now, what do you give advice for people that want a quick fix? How do you overcome that? Everybody wants a quick fix, if you notice.
I would tell them to talk to the wrong guy first, and then I would say it just doesn't work that way. Quick fixes they're quick and temporary, you know, so I wouldn't even, that'd be a short conversation. I would tell them you just need discipline. Discipline, you know what you want, visualize it, and then set your plan. Like, hey, my plan is, hey, in 3 months I want to be 15 pounds lighter and I want my body fat down at least 10%. That's a good goal. So what is a psychiatrist doing in a gym like this? Because my message here to you, that physical fitness impacts mental health. And I'm going to ask Crafton a few questions, because one of the things to overcome your body, you have to have certain mental abilities. So tell me, how do you think exercise and the kind of workout that you have helps people's ability to mentally be improved? How so? I mean, there's so many ways. Like mental benefits initially it's confidence, like you set a goal, and when you see yourself getting close to or actually achieving it, confidence gives you motivation to keep doing what you initially set out to do. So confidence can affect everything, like how strong you feel, how much energy you have, and how happy you are. So I think building confidence is probably one of the first things I would notice. Like mentally, people start to just feel better, look better, and then so they are better.
I can vouch for this because he has a large group of children here who a lot of them have a lot of self-doubt. And one last question. Everybody seems to be focused on diets, on weight, and they seem to get very discouraged when they do this. So what advice would you give those people regarding those things,
Well, I mean, you want to worry about your diet and your nutrition, if I'm training with someone like a student or a client, but it's not just that. Like martial arts is teaching you how to protect yourself initially. It's self-defense. So learning that, it's another whole type of confidence and security. So knowing that you have ways to deal with bad situations, that's a way to be just more mentally strong. Like if you have doubt when you were not so strong, not capable, you didn't even know how to protect yourself at all. Of course, once you learn how to protect yourself, that doubt, it should be less or it should be gone completely.
You can see a lot of this has a lot of mental capacity. You have to visualize and to improve on yourself. And with this episode, I'd like to thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and like for future episodes. And please, for those who have doubts, I hope that this video with my progress will give hope not to my patients, but to the doctors who take care of patients, that everything is possible. You can make time. You can invest in yourself. Everything has a cost. So thank you, and I'll see you again in the next episode.